All right. It's been so long since I've seen everybody. Anyways, I'm just teasing. I'm here to talk about my fourth day in this little adventure of cutting some weight. And yesterday I went out to dinner with my family to a little place. It's the name of the place is not that important. It's what's more important is eating out. And I want to talk about eating out because I love eating out just like anybody else. And there was a time that I used to eat out essentially every single meal of my life in my 20s. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so what ended up happening is I went out to eat, and I'm always worried because of allergens and so forth. Especially, I have a very bad soy allergy. And sure enough, I think I picked up. I should have lost a half a pound yesterday. So I was down 4.8 pounds. Now, granted, like I said, I think about 2.3 of those pounds were due to water. Now, I happen to like to monitor how much of my weight is due to, the little worker bees in my body saying, "Hey, Bobby, we need energy. You don't have any in the tank. You're not feeding us. Our bacteria is getting angry. So we're going to go chip away at some fat in your body." And I think that I like that analogy. Some other people have commented they like that analogy because if you try to visualize what's happening in your body and you don't want to undermine the construction crew of chipping away at your fat, you're less likely to cheat. At least I find myself less likely to cheat. Now, when you think about the wear and tear on your body as it's kind of tapping into your fat reserves, it's very fatiguing and it's tiring when you do it. So to lose weight is tiring, at least for me. I don't know if it's tiring for everybody, but when you don't eat as much, people often assume I'm tired because I'm not eating enough. All right, that's the big myth, at least for me. Okay, once again, I'm not a doctor. Talk to a dietitian if you're worried about this. But what I've noticed about myself is the mathematics of eating. You only need about 1,000 calories to maintain your core functions of your body. Maybe about 240, 300 calories for your brain, and then your organs need a certain number of calories. And then the rest, I understand this whole concept of muscle loss and fat loss. I get it. But the reality is your body's going to try to go get your fat reserves because they switch really quickly. And they turn to energy pretty quickly. But the work is in chipping it away, because when you put the food in the tank and you eat, your body just processes what you just ate. It doesn't need to expend any energy to go get it off of your body, and i.e. your fat reserves. So then when you chip it away through your body, it puts it into the bloodstream and sends it, and then it helps create that energy. But when that process occurs, you probably feel achy and sore and a little bit run down. That's normal for me. At least that's what I've noticed. It's normal. And this is one of the reasons why when I'm first trying to cut weight, whether it be for a 10-day fast, or in this case, I'm going to do a 33-day fast, I don't really work out too much. Now, that's not to say I get rid of just walking, get my 30 minutes of walking in or do some other light stuff, but I don't work out heavy. And I don't think it makes sense for me to do that because I'm already shocking and fatiguing my body. And sometimes if you overshock your body, right, your body's going to go into a defensive stance where it's going to want to hold on to things, hold on to excess energy. And then you might likely, if you're too fatigued and it's too tiring, that's when you throw in the towel and say, you know what? I know I was going on this fast, but maybe next time. So anyways, I'm trying to make it humorous because it should be fun, and you should try to make it a game. And so if you map out in Microsoft Excel how much of your weight you should be losing based on your calorie intake, and then how much of it might be water, and then keep track of how much water you're gaining or losing on any given day, and that will help you figure out, number one, if you're monitoring how much water you're drinking. And there's another important reason to drink a lot of water when you're losing weight. You need to flush out all these toxins that are released when you lose the weight and the fat's being broken up in your body. So it's extremely important. Somebody's asking, how many meals am I eating? I like eating at least 2 a day. I'm not one of these 1 a day type of people. So I've tried to do the 1, but what I will say is I try to eat the 2 within 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours. And so I do understand the concept of kind of turning down your equipment in your body. And you can drink too much water, by the way. So if you kind of restrict how much your stomach is put to work, it sends your body into gear to go pull the energy from the rest of your body. But in terms of water, it is theoretically possible to overdrink water at one sitting, and you could rupture your stomach. So I'm not talking about that. There's somebody who died, I think, on a radio program where the guests, the host kept antagonizing them to drink as much water as they could, and they ended up dying. It was somebody in their 30s. I remember it made the news in Chicagoland, and that's pretty scary stuff. So I'm not talking about over drinking water. I'm talking about drinking that 6, 8, 10 glasses a day kind of water, and just flush it out throughout the day. And maybe lemon water for toxins or some cayenne pepper. I've done that. Lemon, cayenne, and just some water is always a good thing too. But I will say I personally don't believe in restricting. I'm not one of these folks that thinks I'm going to get rid of all my carbs and no fruit. I'm just going to eat meat and I'm going to eat a bunch of fat, and that's way too much thinking. Just all I know is I look for the core ingredient: eggs, bacon. If I'm going to eat some sugar, I'd rather have a spoonful of peanut butter. So if I'm hungry and I need I'm under my quota in calories, I'll take a spoonful of peanut butter and get 200 calories. And I got my sugar, I got my fat, and guess what? Peanut butter just by itself with no bread is pretty filling. It's just give it a shot. If you don't trust me, go pick up a can of peanut butter and have some, and you'll be shocked on how filling peanut butter by itself is. If you just take your time and you don't have to eat it very fast. And the other thing I do that helps cut unnecessary calories when I'm trying to cut weight, and this is just trivial stuff. Just pay attention when you get sauce on something. The sauce is supposed to be a flavoring, to noodles. When you get a pasta dish, I had a zucchini dish from I think from Panera this week, and it was 450 calories or something, but there was such an excess amount of sauce. It was like a linguine sauce that I didn't want all that sauce. I just wanted the flavor of the sauce, but I probably cut 50 to 75 calories by just kind of pulling the noodles away from the excess sauce. So if you do these tiny little things, all of a sudden you add up to that 3,500 calories, and 3,500 calories is 1 pound off your body. So me, I'm probably cutting at least 1,500 to 1,700 calories a day. I know how to do that and not have it suffer, not suffer or be too run down. Please talk to a doctor if you're going to go aggressive. You could probably do 500 to 600 calories, and you'll lose. If you do that and you move around a little more, you'll probably lose up to 1 pound a week just by doing that. But I want to tell you something else that I found, which is why so many people like to say, eat a lot of protein, Bobby. You got to go on the protein diet. That's the one to do. Cut the carbs. And let me tell you why I think they say that without looking at the math. Your body, if you eat 100 calories, let's just do 1,000. You eat 1,000 calories of protein. Your body is going to use 200 to 300 of that 1,000 to process the protein. That's how much energy it uses. So it uses 200 to 300 calories to process 1,000 calories of protein. Now, if you have 1,000 calories of carbs, your body only needs about 100 calories to process it. So you get 900. So think of it like cash. Let's just think of it like money. You have $900 left if you process carbs. You have only we'll just say $750. You have $750 left if you process the protein. But now if you process fat, you have like $980 left. So fat only needs like 2%, 1 to 3%, depending on the type of fat. So you have 980 you have 900, and you have 750. So you can see that by just eating lean protein, if you eat lean protein and cut away some of the fat and some of the food, for 1,000 calories of like fat versus like protein, you'll save yourself 230 calories. You'll burn up 230 extra calories. You don't save it. You ate 1,000 of each. You ate 1,000 fat. You ate 1,000 calories of protein. And between that mix, your body needs to work harder and burn that energy. You burn up 230, at least 230 more calories on average than if your body is processing fat. So that's super important to remember. Is you got to look into what that sugar-free peanut butter is doing, though, Ann, because with these sugar-free products, they put in all these other types of chemicals, and some of these chemicals are engineered in the lab. And when they're engineered in the lab, it's tough to get a straight answer if your body knows how to produce, process it properly. And so I think that's why sometimes we retain more water. We're agitating our system. And then sometimes we agitate our system with all these different chemicals. I try to keep to this under 5 ingredient rule. I pick up something off the shelf and I look at it. What's it made with? It's like mushrooms, salt. Oh, it's got 4 ingredients. I'm going to buy that and I'm going to take it home. And so when I say the 5 ingredient rule, I'm not talking a meal with 5 ingredients. I'm talking about the actual thing I'm buying is less than 5 ingredients. Is kind of like that's why I try to stay under, because I don't have the expertise to analyze all this in detail on all these different things that are in the food. But I think you should definitely look into it a little bit more. There's plenty of people out there. I'll find some sources for people that have better information than me if you like. But exercise the good old-fashioned common sense of how people used to be before all these processed foods came into existence. Think back to those old-time movies, that they've been probably trying to ban, where they have the little corner grocery store and they have apples and oranges and limes. And, there's the saying I remember reading is just shop the outside of the aisles, the grocery store. There's a lot of truth to that. All the cases, all the refrigerated cases of like fresh produce, fresh vegetables, fruits and vegetables, and then, obviously meats and fish and all that jazz. Because if you take that approach, I think you'll be shocked to see that you're eating just as much, sometimes if not more, but your body is hanging on to the energy differently, and it's having an easier time of processing it, and then it's not retaining all this water because it's being agitated because of chemicals that we don't fully understand. And so that's what I wanted to share with you today is the math of protein, carbs versus fat. Make sure you get plenty of rest. You should sleep more when you're losing weight because you have to repair your body. It's breaking down walls. Think of fat as demolition. If it's trying to knock down all this fat in your system, it's demolition. So it's going to be a little more tiring when you're trying to lose weight, and that's normal. Once again, I don't think you didn't eat enough. That's not what's causing you to feel tired. You're feeling tired because your body's breaking down the walls inside it to get rid of the fat. And so please keep that in mind and make sure you drink plenty of water to flush out all that fat, because there's only 2 ways you can lose fat. And it goes back to the same thing. You either breathe it out or you sweat it out. And I think only 16% of it is you sweating it out. 84% is breathing it out. So how do you breathe it out? You breathe it out by it being broken down off of the inside of your body, goes into your bloodstream, gets processed, and you breathe it out through CO2. And I'm going to leave you with that. Well, one last thing. If you don't have time to walk for 30 minutes today, take a hot bath for an hour, and you'll burn off just as many calories as walking for 30 minutes. It's a quick little trick if you didn't get your steps in. So you'll burn off about 130 calories. Look it up and see for yourself. So anyways, thank you all for chiming in, and I hope your goals are going as well as I think mine are so far. So about, I'm not going to be losing 4 pounds a week every week, but right now I'm down about 4. So we'll see how it goes over the next few days. Thanks again.